start exactly the same way, down to the T here. Heartseeker start on the Hunters. We see the Vampiric Shroud boot start on both mages. We see the Mystical Mark on the solos, Eye of Providence, Hand of the Gods, as well as Watcher's Gift on the supports. And of course the pot, Hand of the Gods, Bubba's Mass start for the jungle. So everything is completely mirrored here. You can see that we're in the grand finals. Everything is 100% efficient, and these teams are not wasting any time. No big invasions, although good ward placement from both teams. Dignitas going to get one down by the blue buff, and we see Cognitive Gaming getting a ward down up towards the mid camp there on the opposite side. Surprisingly enough, we're going to see Zeus helping out with the side area here. Instead of going for the mid camps on the left side, they're just going to go ahead and ignore that, and we're going to see them go for the movement speed buff and just help out with that one. Zeus is going to get a little bit of a lead in that, but lose out as he makes his way to the mid camp. Looks like Dignitas is actually ahead here as it does level out, now go in favor of Cognitive Gaming. So pretty even across the board. Neath and Wukong very slow here since they had to duo the mid camp instead of trio it. So they're just doing the blue buff. They're going to make it back into the lane as Cupid tries to close out as fast as he possibly can, but looks like we have a very standard start as everyone heads to the lane.
Yeah, you know, the burst XP that Dignitas gets right away there is a little bit better, but ultimately that's going to go in favor of Kagane as they are able to go around and secure the rest of their jungle, and then while picking up those two early mid camps. And you know, it's kind of a trade-off. Dignitas did get that full entire first wave, so they're pretty much even in gold, but they are down about 800 experience on the back of missing those two mid camps.
We see mid lane rotation coming out from Loki and jumping right into the mid lane. We see junglers kind of pushing that timing a lot more effectively. Generally, you see junglers either stay in the solo lane and push it up, or go back and pick up the Harpies at around 125. But this time around, we see Loki immediately leave the solo lane and go right for the mid lane. Showing up in the mid lane at about 1 minute for the jungler is very, very early, but generally gets some good pressure out, trying to just coming in and catching Ao Guang out of position there, getting a little bit of harassment off, forcing him to use a healing potion, and now he is out of that one. One difference here, we're going to see Aegis Amulet pick up here for the Zeus, and then Purification Beads for the Ao Guang. Does not want to get stunned out by the Loki. And one of the biggest interactions there is Zeus able to Aegis after popping his ultimate if someone jumps on him, and then waiting for the duration and then be able to detonate afterwards with that 3 charge detonate. A very, very effective combination. And honestly, each statement is usually kind of standard on Zeus, and we're going to see him play today. Now, honestly, given the fact that Zeus is always banned, I think he's banned so much that we rarely see a good Zeus when he comes out. And I think more often than not, if a Zeus makes it through, that team loses because they're so, rusty on their Zeus play because they never get to play him. But the best, definitely a very strong mid laner, has been playing mid since he was born, I think. Now he's coming out and playing here.
This wasn't very long ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
So mid lane camps on the right side being contested here. Left side going to go the way of Dare to Care Sun Wukong. It looks like Lassus will be able to go ahead and secure those for Dignitas on the right. Shadowq actually going to steal those away from Dare to Care there. Nice play by the Athena, rotating in, finding the confound. Dare to Care trying to run that a little bit lean, not use the Hand of the Gods. Thought he had that secured, but Shadowq dashes in, confounds, and uses the Hand of the Gods of her own to pick that up. Right side lane, Anatoly and Omega having a little bit of a slap fight there. Anatoly currently winning as we look over, up by some experience there. Omega going to clear that wave out. He's going to hit 5 as well. And Anatoly up just a little bit in HP. That, basically Vamana will lose this for the first about 6-7 levels, and then it should be dead even from anything after that as they both work towards those mystical marks.
Ao Guang back in the mid lane as the charge. Lightning's coming through here to bounce between and clear this wave out. Freya's going to come and help out just a bit, help out with her buddy, the Noodle. Left side, we see Dare to Care as well as Barracuda on Neath, forcing this out and going back towards the tower. Shadowq still level 4 as well as Zapman. So this looks like Cog is very much in the lead on this left side of the map. Loki now going to start up the damage buff, and we haven't really seen any really big rotations from either team at this point. It's been kind of conservative. 0-0, no first blood just yet. The gold has completely evened out. It's slightly in the favor of Dignitas, but at this point it is all nominal. Vamana on the right side waiting to pop his ultimate to clear the...
They just wanted HP.
He just want to heal back up, but honestly, he could have baited something out there, or possibly just hang out. He's just going to heal himself back up with that ultimate and kind of just hang out. So now they know that's off cooldown. They could possibly call for a rotation there. Dare to Care forced to go up in the air, and he's going to back off this one most likely.
Yeah, Last is going to go ahead and fall back as well. Zapman here. Important to note, looking at the difference between the builds between Zapman and Barracuda, the Heartseeker Rush comes out at the same time, but Zapman is up a sprint 1, meaning that it's going to be tough for Neath to escape. That backflip is not going to be as useful as perhaps you might expect it to be. There's going to be an ult into the mid lane. Going in is Last Anister up in the air, but as you mentioned, they have built a team that deals incredibly well with Freya. The poison dot from the Loki, as well as the detonate charges from the best, able to secure her during Valkyrie's discretion. All of that combines for the first blood, going in favor of Team Dignitas.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you get 3 charges on Freya and the vanish damage over time effect, and even if she goes up in the ultimate, she's not safe. And that's really what they've built here with Dignitas. I like the Loki pit. Like you said, Vamana and Sun Wukong are going to be very difficult for Loki to deal with, but going forward, I think they have a great way to shut down that Freya early, and they're going to get that kill. So First Blood does go into Andenster in favor of Dignitas 4 minutes and 45 seconds into this match. We're going to see a very small lead going up. I mean, 1,000 gold is something to write home about, but not really something to boast to all your friends about. We're going to see Vamana on the right side going to get this blue buff as Freya trying to clear this out as quickly as he possibly can. Damage buff is available as well. Blue buff on the left side, Neat's going to get this one and go right back into lane and heal himself back up with those Unravel activations. Of course, that does have a great heal on it. Omega does finish off that teleport 3, and so does Anatoly, so it seems like everything's just right in line.
We did miss this in our analysis, of course, is that the Loki and Athena combo, those ultimates in conjunct are extremely potent, and that's what we saw, in fact, take down the Freya. If you don't understand how this works, Defender of Olympus is a channeled ultimate by Athena that she selects a friendly target, and she channels an ultimate that displaces her from her current location to them, protecting them from some damage, and then really crashing down with a big burst damage. And Loki assassinate, lets them cover ground instantly, show up behind a target, and stun them. Obviously, when used in conjunction, it is extremely potent and has been used to great effect already in this game. Right side of the map, Omega and Anna sort of combined to steal a blue buff here. Anatoly going to go ahead and Fearless Omega out of that, clear the path. A little bit low on mana here as the baby, and they may actually be able to put something together here as Shadowq's going to come around. They'll have a Confound, Big Baby being used. Lassus is here as well. I don't think they're going to dive this one. They're going to try to wait it out. Anatoly going to go ahead and absorb that ultimate. Shadowq trying to block it out, but it shouldn't matter too much. Needs the ultimate down. Baby force use his ultimate as well. That should have made some nice room for Anatoly to find some farm of his own.
Gonna rotate the mid lane. Freya, does she have it? Pops the ultimate early. They're gonna force it away. Looks like that AoE damage is far too much for Dignitas to deal with. They're now gonna go into the mid lane here, trying to pick up these mid camps. Looks like right side's gonna go to Dignitas, as well as the left side going to Cog, as they are in place. There goes the respawn. Athena looking to grab something up. There goes a Squall, and 1-shot, 2-shot, and that will go down as she dashes in anyway. Just pokes Dignitas. Just get out of here.
Throw a
get off my
javelin
lawn.
anyway. Yeah, that's right.
Pushes him away from that one. Penetration picked up by Lassus. Does have those Warrior top E completed. Mystical Mark on the Mana, nearing 1,200 gold in hand for the Mana across the way. Anatoly has 1,100, so about 100 gold for the Mana across the way. Speaking of Mana, right side getting jumped on here. The rotation, the juggle, burst damage, and even characters like Vamana not safe from the lineup from Dignitas.
So now it's on the mid lane here. We have a it's a pretty stalled out matchup. Best does have the edge slightly over MC Stealth by about a little over a level. MLC Omega has gone down in the right side lane to that Lassus and Shadowq combination. The burst aim is just too strong, and now they're going to turn their attention to Derek, who may have overstayed his welcome. If they can find a Confound in the shield on, no, he's going to go ahead and use a Summertime Cloud to just tank up the next minion wave coming in, stall it out a little bit, gonna leap in as well. In the meantime, Andis are gonna find a kill onto the best in the mid lane as that Freya. I actually missed that drive there. Did you catch it?
Yeah, it's just a great rotation. Honestly, Zeus was just too far forward, and I don't think they realized how much damage they were able to put out there. Spirit Stamus wasn't even needed to be used there. Right side looks like the Ox gets used immediately. That Golden Ox just moving out. Omega taking some damage here, but not a whole lot, honestly. Anatoly's not getting the best end of this because of the minions, but that guard stance cleave heals for a lot as he goes back and turns this around. Anatoly not giving up. Omega dropping down to just about 60% HP. Look at the gold graphs. We're going to see 300 gold in favor of Cognitive Gaming. Of course, 300 experience in favor of 400 gold in favor of Dignitas, and 400 experience in favor of Cognitive Gaming. Again, this is all nominal. These are small numbers at this point in the game. It all comes down to the next objective or a big win. Omega popping his ultimate yet again to heal himself back up and stay in the lane. Freyatis, does she have a banish? There's the slow. Does she have the irradiate? No irradiate. There's the irradiate pop activation. Does she have enough? One more shot. Goes into the ultimate. There goes the ultimate from Tyr, but it's not going to save him as Freya gets a perfect rotation. Annister proving himself right now. Mid camp's now going the way of either team as either side is evenly taken out. Loki looking for opportunity in the mid lane, not going to find it. He's going to jump over the left side, but I mean, that's just textbook Freya.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and take a look at our graphs here. Gold basically dead even. A little bit of an experience advantage going the way of Cog and A. Our poll in the chat showing that it's a 60% likelihood that Dignitas wins this, according to our chat friends. They're favoring Dignitas in this matchup. And oh wow, look at this! Look at Stealthspell going to go Warlocks as well after they completely dominated on Alquang. They went that in the last game. He is going to echo that build. It's going to be a Warlock sash, but not rushed after the CDR boots. So we're getting to the stage of the game here as we approach 10 minutes where the mystical marks are finished. On the solo laners, you have the dual laners starting to get their damage items up and running after Heartseeker. This time Zatman says, fine, I'll buy boots. He's going to go Heartseeker into Aussie, the boots 1, versus Barracuda, who's going to go Heartseeker, and then pick up a late Death Stall. What do you think about that?
I think it just swapped over weirdly. I don't know if he just went back, went tier 2 Heartseeker, tier 3 Heartseeker, and picked up Death Toll. I don't know if it was really worth it here. The starting items fall off very, very early. Honestly, around 4 to 5 minutes when they start falling off effectiveness, and honestly not being worth purchasing anymore. But he's going to pick that up, just get a little bit more sustain. It may be enough for him to delay his lifesteal item. I don't know. Personal choice. We have to actually talk to him about that one. It's on the verge. I don't think it's worth it, but he may have good reasoning for it. Going straight into Boots 2 there. Across the way, we're going to see Vamana and Freya rotate over. Algong is here, but they're going to walk right through awards. Of course, Anatoly is privy to their actions. Loki on his way over, and Zeus is rotating as well. There goes the combo coming down. There goes the first. The Defender of Olympus does land. Taunt comes out. The decoys on the ground. Needs ultimate. Algong ultimate comes through. Does need the ultimate hit, or does it hit? No, it hits Athena on the back end, but Blastus goes down anyway. Vamana going up into his big baby form, 2 for 1 so far. Going after Anister, dropping very low. Does he have a third charge detonate come out? He knows it comes up. Doesn't come down. There goes the lightning from above, and Freya falls down, and it's totally gets smashed by the Jingle Bang. The kills are going left and right up into the ultimate, up on his cloud to think about what he just accomplished with his massive magic cudgel. And now it's going to be a 3 for 2 exchange in favor of Cognitive Gaming. That's going to put them in lead. A small, but very modest 200 gold, but mainly 2,000 experience.
And they're going to go ahead and re-secure this blue camp for themselves. There goes the way of Omega, and that's the second time that he's taken the blue away from Anatoly's tier. So taking a look at the net worth here, 5,800 from Toly, looking at 6,200 for Omega. So this solo lane has basically been won at this point. Omega can pretty much sit back and sit on his 500, 500 gold advantage and be perfectly happy with that, and know that he's going to be hitting those items, just ever so slightly faster than his counterpart tier will be. In the right side lane, the left side lane, Cupid has pushed this wave all the way up. Barracuda's going to clear it out as well, and they're perfectly happy to just ping-pong this wave back and forth between them here. If you guys are just joining us, guys, welcome. It is 11 minutes, 30 seconds into game number 1 in a best-of-3 finals between Team Dignitas and Cognitive Gaming in North America.
Yep, that's right. And then, as far as the seeding points goes, Cognitive has been unable to lose a match. I mean, obviously, the last week they won. The week before they won. They're sitting in first place in the seeding points. They have been winning every single tournament so far. This is week 3 of the path to the $100,000 tournament, path to 100K. It's underway here, and Dignitas is looking to take down the giants that is Cognitive Gaming, but it's proven to be more difficult than they thought. We're going to see a rotation come out on the left side. Looks like Dare to Care might find Zatman here. There goes Fields of Love, Heart Bomb, Purification beats the root. The Fields of Love still hits, unfortunately. Zatman looking for opportunity. There goes right side. Looks like Algong is going to go down in the mid lane. Zatman getting jumped on. Looks like the backflip goes the wrong way for Barracuda. The Heart Bomb is going to secure this. Athena just backs off. He knows it's going to explode, and there goes a kill on Neath. Dare to Care looking to harass Shadowkey here right side. Vamana going to get jumped on by the tier as the rotation comes out. It's going to turn out to be a 2 for 1. Loki did go down when it's all said and done, but Dignitas comes out ahead as Neath and Algong are both traded. Stealth has completed his Warlock Sash, but again, as we saw in the last match, unless he stacks it up quickly, and honestly, he may even ignore his team and just farm. If those stacks don't get picked up quickly enough, that Warlock Sash proves to be more of a detriment.
But Warlock Sash there, I mean, not to directly counter your point, but Warlock Sash there actually converts that kill into Loki. They went for the Athena-Loki ultimate combination into the mid lane onto Algong. He survived it enough to get out Spirit Tempest, which did hit the Loki as he was retreating. And then Anister barely survives with the Valkyrie's Discretion, is able to secure that kill because of the Spirit's Tempest. So that extra, maybe 500 HP that Stealth has now is that Warlock Sash. It's base HP of course, 300, plus maybe the 200 from the stacks that he's gotten. He's really starting to pay dividends. Okay, over left side of the mid lane, Shadowkey going to absorb a lot of the damage from Freya. Of course, she does block those in-hand attacks. Now the damage starting to come out, but the Pulse is going to wear out, and Irradiate not going to be enough to secure that kill. So Shadowkey going to evade that one fairly well. Another Neath ultimate down and use Lass's Hunting, looking for the mid camps here. Is going to go ahead and secure those. Anister is going to need to banish out this decoy. Is going to get the Harpy, and Lass is going to last at that. So Lassa says, no, I don't think so. But, I mean, we did see in the mid lane, as you were commentating on that left side, is that another very potent combination from Dignitas is that Zeus ultimate followed up with a Loki ultimate to keep someone in there. So they have a lot of tools, and Dignitas, even if they are losing this early game portion, and it's not by much, they're dead even in gold and less than 2,000 experience set for these teams, they should have the advantage in the mid game with their team fight.
Freya gonna head back into the jungle here to see if they can't pick this up on top. We see Loki try to steal with the blue buff, which actually was leashed away. There goes the aim strike as well as the vanish combination. Vamanos on his way over. Does he try to throw a Burrowing over the wall? He's not going to get it. Tyr's going to grab up this blue buff or just let it go. So he let it go. Sees the rotation coming out from the Freya. Not really worth it. It's more important that you remove the blue buff from the enemy team rather than try and grab it. He's going to come back after the fact that when everyone has gone and everyone has closed up shop, grab that blue buff and disappear. Freya heading the mid lane. Loki doing the exact same here as Zeus combining with that Loki decoy is going to clear out this wave quite quickly and quite handily here. Looking at itemization, we're going to see Ninja Tavi picked up here by Anatoly on that tier, looking for that extra CDR. Left side, taunt under tower. There goes a shield wall. Do they have any rotation? No Fields of Love being activated just yet. The Heart Bomb was on Data Care, which did actually get a stun after that. Freya forced to use her ultimate here. Loki does still have his if he wants to go in on that one. Looks like they're going to try and defend this mid lane as Loki rotates over. I mean, he's just in the enemy jungle. Look for the activation. There's the banished aim strike. The ultimate misses as the backflip comes out, avoiding the transformations there as Shadow Q comes down from the ultimate. Derek here under tower range yet again. Neith coming through. Does she have the root? He's going to dash out just in time. Zeus pushing up the mid lane. So again, a good backflip from Barracuda. He's so hard to shut down right there. And you can see why his awareness is just wonderful.
Yeah, but this lane is definitely being won by Dignitas. There's really no question about it. Zatman has had Barracuda's number, it seems like, has the level advantage. Dare to Care is beating Shadow Q in terms of experience, but Shadow Q has put out a lot of pressure around the map, while Zatman has not fallen off very far. So at the end of the day, I really like that Dignitas has prioritized more farm out of Zatman over what Cog has done. Barracuda a little bit behind there. So they've continued to keep this wave pretty much at the tower, and Zatman on Cupid certainly has a lot of damage. There's a big confound into Fields of Love. This is a lot of burst damage going to come out. Dare to Care in some trouble. Mez comes out on a Barracuda, but backflip comes through. However, Zatman's still able to secure that kill on a Dare to Care. Very, very nice play, landing those auto attacks as he was channeling that Somersault Cloud. Right side lane, look at right side lane. Anatoly going to be in some trouble. This time he's learned. He's going to use Lawbringer right away to get under tower range. I think in the last time he did go down this combination, he just waited to use that too long. Going to try to hold off the rest of Cog as they push in towards this tower, but I don't think he has what it takes to keep them from really going in. He's going to go get the aggro, but will that cost him his life? No ultimate available this time. Big Baby comes out. Riverdance on the tower. They're going to look to pick up Anatoly now as well. Big time banish. That is a very, very dead tier. Down he will go. Extremely well played by Cog there.
In the meantime, we saw Dignitas pick up the Gold Fury. He's going to put him in the lead with that tower going down. It's going to put it right back at even. So we still have an even game, ladies and gentlemen. We saw Neith priming the World Weaver to get that kill on the tier. And honestly, the voice call coming from the voice chat was just, you know what, guys? We got this kill. Don't worry about the World Weaver. Barracuda was saying, do you need it? Do you need it? Do you need it? And they're like, nah, we got this. Banish comes out, and tier goes down. So they trade. They got a tier, and they got a tower, but Dignitas ended up turning around and getting the Gold Fury. So about even exchange there across the board. So good engagement coming out from both teams. And honestly, it's going to level things out. Given the fact that that gold is kind of just sitting in the bank for Dignitas when they decide to clear up the tower difference here, that's going to put them more in the lead than they currently are, or possibly have the opportunity to make more with it. We're going to see Sovereignty is completed here by the support tanks. This is always a good thing to look at, considering the fact that Sovereignty not only has 400 HP on it, 65 physical protection, but provides 20 magical and 20 physical to all allies around you. So a fantastic item that makes the game much different. So keep in mind that that's always the first item, or possibly the second item, depending on the itemization against the enemy team. You always want to look to see when the supports are completing those. Heartseeker picked up by tier after the boots and the mystical mark are completed, just adding more damage to his overall reserves here. Omega has finished the Heartseeker going into the Witchstone. Of course, Witchstone does provide 15% movement speed, Heartseeker 8%. So he's about, honestly, a little bit over boots with that combination there. Not necessary to pick those up for him. Deathbringer almost done by Zatman as he's finished off Executioner for the pen, Asi for the pen, the lifesteal, the attack speed. Initiation comes out. There's a banish. Freya goes into the damage output. Pulse already. Algorithm coming through. It's going to hit. It's going to hit Lassus as well as forcing Anatoly out there. Freya ultimate coming through. Anatoly trying to get away. He's going to be found here by Omega. The Squall's not going to land. He jumps over to the end of the damage. Umbrella Ring's not going to. It will get the slow and try to get the splash off the tower. It's going to be enough, but Zeus is here. Look for the rotation. Solo Cog coming from the rotation. There's Jingle Bang on top of Zeus. Athena on the backside. Now mid lane we see Cupid and Neith going at it yet again. Right side. There's the Neith ultimate coming down. Not going to do a whole lot. Shadow Q under tower range. Dare to Care looking for opportunity. Tornadoes on the ground. Do they have the tower? Omega just has no interest in fighting anyone. He gets that tower down. It's a 1,500 gold swing for Cognitive Gaming. Look at the charts. They're up 2,000 gold already as Cupid was kept busy by Neith in the mid lane, and now Fire Giant is available. The mid camps are coming up soon. Cognitive Gaming is on the up and up.
Yeah, Cog took a very, very good fight there, find a couple of kills. Looks like Zapman's going to go deep on the stealth here, but not quite deep enough. The Fields of Love's beat it out. Now, looks like Dignitas wants to get an answer onto this mid tower here. Zapman going to tank it up for a little bit, but he's not going to be able to tank it for long. The minions are going to get blown up by Alkwong. Zapman wants to stay in. He's calling for it. Best is going to stay there with him. The shot caller for Dignitas right yet again. Zapman and Best combined to secure that kill. However, the left side now, Barracuda's pushed up very, very far. Even though Zapman does have the better build here when it comes to damage output, it's not really translating into an advantage. He is sitting at 2-0. Barracuda at 0-1. Net worth is about 1,000 in favor of Zap and has gone for the much more aggressive builds with just boot 1 and sprint 1, where Barracuda has gone boots 3 and sprint 3. But it's working, right? 2-0 versus 0-1, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to carry this game. That's what we need to be looking for, is Zapman making plays as we move later on. The physical damage burst output on Dignitas between the Loki and the Cupid is really, really, really high. When you couple that with the Zeus AoE team fight, once again, I feel like Dignitas should really be grouping more at this stage in the game. They're hitting that 20-minute mark, and it should be time for them to go ahead and say, look, we have a superior team fight. Let's group up. Let's push some objectives. Let's take some Gold Furies, and let's get ourselves back in this game.
I'd like to see them trying to lay in wait and look for an opportunity to bait out a pick. Now, if they ever catch Freya, if they ever catch, Neith, that would be the big pick for them. And honestly, with Loki, with Athena, with Zeus, with Cupid, they have so many ways to do that. And they got to get that pick, because if they don't, Cog's lineup is so much safer than Dignitas's that they have the opportunity to just kind of wait it out. Barracuda, very safe, and it's on Freya, very safe. And like you said, with that Warlock Sash, and this is the point where Warlock Sash starts to pay off, if you don't get shut down at any point, your team starts winning its big victories. He now has finished off that penetration, and anything he stacks on top of this now is going to help him out a lot. And honestly, he can finish off with an Ethereal Staff as well to add some extra damage to the overall pool here. And I think you're exactly right. With that Warlock Sash, he's able to prevent the burst damage coming out from the Loki and Athena. But what this does for Dignitas is it shifts their focus from Ao Kuang to characters like Freya and Neith to get that burst off. And honestly, they're relying a lot on Freya's and Neith's damage to get these team fight victories, but the rotations coming out from Kong is a lot. There goes Zeus getting jumped on here.
He's using the walking Aegis, Neith ultimate coming through. Yeah, there's nothing to do about that. Down away with an Anister. Yeah, it goes the delayed shot coming out there from Freya. Basically, Anister hits a brilliant banish there as Zeus is trying to fall away from them, closing in on him. Omega takes a lot of damage there from Lassus, but Lassus can't do much against the Alkwang at this point. Warlock Sash, a smart item versus a Loki, prevents the real kind of 100% to 0 burst style that Loki really wants to play in. And now all around the board, Dignitas is starting to fall off a little bit here. Zapman needs to really start pulling his weight. It's going to be a Gold Fury attempt here. Only Zapman currently there. Fields of Love is out. That's going to be a nice placement there. However, they're going to eat tornadoes to get into this fight. Dignitas starting to tick down. In comes the initiation from Cog. Omega in the backlines. Gold Fury goes down in favor of Cog. Shadow Q eats a Spirit Tempest as well. That means the Guardian's a little bit low in this fight. Getting Riverdance on by the Baby. Baby going to do a lot of damage there. MLC Omega picks up a kill on to the Guardian of Shadow Q. Hasten Fatalis stuns, which mean basically he is impossible to peel when he is in that Sleeping Giant form. And now Kagane is going to take a tier 1 in the mid.
They get the Gold Fury, they get 2 kills there, absolutely dominant. Zeus is just now respawning. Last is forced to run away. It's another 1,000 gold to add to the coffers of Cognitive Gaming. And, Dignitas, they need to start getting something, but where do you start? Cog is not giving them a whole lot of holes there. I think, honestly, that was a bit of a botched engagement for Dignitas and a great rotation from Cog. The Alkwang, honestly, the Alkwang ultimate hit Athena. That's, the next to the worst situation it could be. Either it hits nobody or hits just the tank. Of course, you'd like to hit at the squishier characters as Cupid just shreds into Dare to Care, forcing him to bird away from that one. But they're not able to get Zeus in there for the big burst. They're not able to wait for an opportunity for Loki to get in because Cog is playing so well. And Dignitas is just, I feel like Dignitas is just not giving Cog enough credit. They're trying to go in on subpar engagements, 3 versus 4, or jump on a Gold Fury when they're not 100% prepared. And, I think Cog deserves all the credit in the world with how they've been playing. You have to take a very cautious approach to this because if you don't do it perfectly, Cog's going to do it perfectly themselves, and you have to watch for that counter initiation. We're going to see some defensive items being picked up here by Cog. I like this opportunity. MLC Stealth going to go directly into Mail of Renewal, surprisingly enough, although this will help him a lot with more tankiness against the Loki. But again, his damage is going to be very, very limited. The fact that he went for CDR boots into Warlock Sash into Mail of Renewal and just the focus Void Zone, his damage is honestly going to be more or less ignored in a lot of situations, but he is very, very tanky and very difficult to deal with. And if he rounds this off with possibly an Ethereal Staff or maybe a Barada Tahuti, he'll be very easily avoidable, but then his damage scales up really quickly. Last is going for penetration on that Titan's Bane. We have Bulwark of Hope 1 there being started up by Anatoly. Zapman rounding off with a very strong build here, a good amount of penetration, now going for that rage. Just boots one, because why not? I have the, the movement speed from Heartseeker, and that's about it. Neath ultimately prime, but Mana jumped on here on the right side, forcing this away. It looks like that's going to be a disengage.
Yeah, I mean, they were just giving him a little uchi-coochie underneath the ribcage there. It didn't really do much. Best in the mid lane. Got a combat blink out of there. So he has picked up the combat blink now, and it's probably a good pickup for him. He's been getting jumped on and hasn't really had a good answer to it. Normally, you see Zeus as being very difficult to dive using the ultimate and the Aegis Reflector Shield to get out of there. But here, we've seen that it's not been quite as effective, has it, as it doesn't have that run speed immunity anymore. Now, Alpong brings that big slow to the table. Lassus taking some damage over here as Cog is going to group up on the left side and look to push this tower. This could be a good opportunity for Dignitas to get a little bit of an advantage over Cognitive. You see Tyr pushing up this right side lane, no, that's going to force out the Vamana. So they're not going to all in this tower. They're going to go ahead and four-man siege it. Still, Dignitas has a potential numbers advantage as Tyr is going to port in here. The port is down from Omega, but with already the tier 1 down on the left side for Dignitas, I'm not sure this was the right time to five-man port in Cognitive. As you can see, is perfectly happy to disengage there and let Vamana get free farm now in that right lane. So what was potentially a nice play by Dignitas, that they overextend a little bit too far, and that's going to allow more free farm for Vamana and another safe disengage for Cognitive.
25 minutes into this match, we're looking at 11-7 lead for Cognitive, 3,800 gold in the lead. The right side towers have been destroyed, as you mentioned, Bart. So it's a lot of gold. Of course, every tier 1 tower is 1,000 gold. Every tier 2 is 1,500. So it's a ton of gold they're able to pull away here. In fact, they're about 1,500 gold ahead in just towers overall. Zapman getting a heart bomb there on Barracuda, forcing it away. Now keep in mind, Neath ultimate going to be activated here. Zapman gets caught in place. Derek forces out, dashes away with a flutter, but the Freya ultimate will be the end of little baby Cupid. Rotating out his Answer. There goes the Fearless from the tier, not going to land. Needs to get some shots out. There goes the taunt. Algon ultimately going to do some damage to the best. The detonate does not come out in time, and now by himself, Shadowcube forced away. He will go down as well. A 3-4-0 exchange, and now forcing this out. Vamana gets out of dodge. No detonate available. That ultimate was right in place. But of course, again, we had the same situation where Dignitas is just being initiated on instead of initiating, and they can't get the damage they need. You cannot be initiated on by this tanky team of Cognitive Gaming. They have to get in, get the burst, kill someone like Freya and Neath, and then start the team fight, or it's not going to work with the lineup they have.
It's tough. It's going to be very, very hard for Dignitas now. They're getting out-team fought with a superior team fight team. And they haven't really been successfully kind of taking these 4v4, 4v5 fights and letting Lassus run free. Freya's had, I mean, in the early game, we saw Lassus pressuring Freya so much, forcing out ultimates so often as the Fire Giant continues to be chipped away at by Cog. And here we just haven't seen that same kind of pressure. Now Lassus going to have that Athena ultimate coming in, looking for a target. It's going to be the Freya there, and down she goes. But that's the first time we've seen that. And Lassus is going to pay with his life. Anatoly forced out of this fight as well. Forced, in fact, uses ultimate to get out of there. And it's just too little too late. They needed this combination to be up and running much, much earlier. Now they basically are going to need to stall until the super late game where Lassus and Zapman can really, really shine. But they'll be contending with a super late game, Vamana, which is never fun to deal with. So this is a very, very difficult situation for Dignitas. Looking at the graphs, they're down by not that much gold, 5,500 gold, and not that much experience, honestly, at 12,500 at this point in the game. Not that drastic, as everyone's going to be hitting level 20 shortly, but it's not looking good for them in terms of momentum, certainly, as Cognitive is going to pick up a Gold Fury and continue to push around the map and look to pick off this tier 1 on the left.
Tyr looking for opportunity. Cupid's going to get the harp on. Fields of Love is there. The sprint is active. Purification Beat's going to prevent that. Will prevent the stun. Looks like the sprint is going to help her get out of there. I mean, with that 6-second duration, it's just so hard to deal with that distance that can be covered there. Neath can rotate over. Looks like Vamana in the mid lane forced out, but he's very, very tanky, especially with that Fire Giant buff they have collected for themselves. The Gold Freeze is going to be picked up here by Cog as well. The crit's coming out 560 on my screen here as it just riddles left and right from that Neath. There goes the hit. No rotation from Dignitas. This is going to be a free Gold Fury. Looking at the graphs, going to shoot up to 8,000 gold in the lead for Cognitive Gaming. Now, keep in mind, Cog is in first place for the seeding points, and this bodes well for them in the first game. Going into game 2, now we're guaranteed at least a game 2 here. Dignitas is looking to go into this next matchup. Being second seed here, they got to take a win here. Dignitas knows that they want to win today. They want to take home a big W for their team, for their sponsor, and for all their fans at home. The question is, how do you go about doing it? Like you said, they have a good combo. They just have not been doing it long enough, or haven't started doing it up until now with that Loki jump on. You could see how easy it was for Loki to take out that Freya as soon as he just committed to it. I mean, just jump, boom, Freya's dead. But the follow-up was there because Cog is just so far ahead right now.
They did a really good job of keeping Freya out of the early game, but now they've effectively lost. I mean, you can't. It's so hard to win against Polynomicon Tahuti Freya with her core already up and running. Like, she just does so much damage. There's mages. None of the mages are safe. None of the hunters are safe. And with a jungler as squishy as Loki, I mean, you can see how well Omega's able to zone him out. I don't see a way that Dignitas is able to win this at this point. It's going to be too hard for them to bring down Omega, and during that time, Freya's going to be putting in, 5,000 to 6,000 damage per team fight between her 1-2 and her ultimate. When you let Freya hit the Polynomicon brought to Tahuti timing outside of her Fatalis Demonic Rip core, it's just really hard to deal with. And Anister is not known for being a slouch on Freya, so this is going to be the final stand for Dignitas. Can they hold out the 4-man push on the left with the baby on the right? They're forced to invest 2 people into stopping Vamana from pushing. Sleeping Giant, he has no worries. There comes the Athena trying to hold them off. Shadowhue's in there, but the ultimate coming out from Anister, a little bit premature, forced to use it to get out of a taunt. So for now, Dignitas will hold, but the next wave coming in, it's just getting so hard for them to deal with this Fire Giant buff and all the tankiness from Kagane.
Transformation comes out. Neath on the first out. There goes Algo. Pops the actually. He's just panicking to buy some time, but there goes Dare to Care. He blinks over the wall. Still alive is the best, but how much does that really matter? Freya goes down. That's a good pick for them. Dare to Care forced away. Anatoly looking for opportunity. Lawbringer comes down. Does no damage. Now looking for Barracuda. Backflip comes out. Does he have a Fearless? Gets knocked up. Loki coming in. Do they have the first damage? Aim strike. That's what they've been looking for. Tornado's on the ground. Loki's going to try and get away, but looks like Loki will end up falling and now going after Omega. Omega's going to fall. It's going to be a 3-for-2 exchange. It wasn't as clean as they thought it was going to be, but because of that combat blink and Aegis Amulet activation there from the best, he's able to get out of dodge just in time. And again, they did it with casualties, so they can't turn around and start taking things. Now, keep in mind, the tower difference is 100%. All towers for Dignitas are down. They have 2 Phoenixes down, the mid Phoenix being the only one remaining. So that's going to be a 5,500 gold swell. There's 5,500 gold still sitting in towers that Dignitas can capture. But again, you're sitting 12,000 gold behind at 6,500 unanswered gold. That's just free and clear from Gold Furies, from gathering on kills and all that kind of rotation. Now also keep in mind the Fire Giant's going to be up in 37 seconds, and Dig really, absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind has to push these lanes up before that happens, because their Minotaur, or I'm sorry, the Titan in this case, is exposed. And if these lanes start pushing down, the Fire Nation has declared war. They're pushing down the lanes, and if they leave these Phoenix minions unchecked, they may even lose the game outright for a backstab. The Fire Giant's responding in 15 seconds. Dignitas has to get this.
Totally trying to get in there, put the wards down. He's going to be spotted by Omega, so now they know exactly where he is. They're going to banish him up, and they will not have tier available for this fight as the Spirit Temper come through.
God.
Yeah, MLC is just going to go ahead and jam that one in for 1,100 damage onto the tier. He said, oh, you like to be tanky, huh? They don't have Anatoly now for this fight, which means they can't control the team at the Fire Giant, which means they have to give it up for free. No way to really properly contest this. Omega out in front saying, come at me, bros. There's very little that they can do to push through the Vamana now. And here comes Cognitive's new Fire Giant buff up and running. They're going to push all the lanes up and look for the mid-Phoenix to finish this game off.
Yeah, moving up here, we see Lass is jumping on top of this one, going back towards the Phoenix. Vamana rolling up here. The Phoenix is exposed as the last one, although the right side Phoenix is going to come back up quite shortly, and they have to nurture if they want to do anything. Turtle is the name of the game here. There goes the Fields of Love actually being interrupted there. Shadow can take damage from the Freya. Even Freya is able to burst down the Athena. Each damage they activate, the best gets banished up in response. Pulse Irradiant is active. The best gets away just barely, or does he? That dunk comes down from Dare to Care, and he picks off the Zeus, and there goes the kill on Zapman as well. Going to Shadow Q. Shadow gonna get burst out. There goes the Spirit Arrow to keep him in place, and now everyone except for Loki is dead. Keep that in mind. He is dead now. Anatoly jumps up, goes for the Lawbringer. What can he really do? 5 versus 1. Give it up in chat, ladies and gentlemen. There goes Algo ultimately with 895 to Anatoly, but the Titan has fallen. Cog takes game 1 and is on their way to another first place win. We're going into game 2 to see if Dignitas can pull this out.
Yeah, very, very dominant performance there by Kagane. Lassus and Shadowq combined for a lot of early control onto the Freya, but just couldn't keep her down. She hits her Polynomicon and her Rata Tahuti, and that pretty much will seal the deal if you have a Freya. Likely why we see her banned out of games now, because she really hits those hypercarry timings harder than really anyone, maybe with the exception of Kronos or potentially Hebo, but Hebo, well, not quite as good as Freya. It doesn't have the banish or the ultimate to kind of have the same utility that Freya does at escaping some sticky situations. But Freya and Kronos both kind of hit the same timing at about 40 minutes, but they have uncontested farm that they're basically going to win the game regardless of what you do. And here, we saw in those last 3 engagements, the Dignitas tried to hold Cog out of the base. Both Zapman and Elastus going deep, trying to finish off the Freya. They knew that was the majority of their damage, but just couldn't get back there. Too much other control on the team. Ao Guang basically ungankable past the, maybe 25-minute mark once he got Mail Renewal 1 after the Focus Voice and Warlocks. Sun Wukong just built perfectly tanky there. Also fitting a Jotun's Wrath into this build. Once again, we see Derek Sun Wukong finding a couple of damage items and really putting together a nice build on that Guardian Sun Wukong. Just what he does so well.
He certainly does. And one thing I want to touch on as well is the fact that, I think this game would have been better for Dignitas if the best went with Hubwa, went with Isis, went with pretty much, any other mage here. Like we were talking about the picking stage, Zeus never gets played unless he accidentally slips through or there's a respect ban or something along those lines. And I think people are so used to Zeus just being auto-banned all the time that they're kind of rusty with the play. The hub wall play we saw from the best earlier was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. This time around, we're going to see him play Zeus, and notably very, very weak. In fact, he got out-damaged by Zapman on Cupid and almost tied here by Loki as well as the tier, which is very uncharacteristic for Zeus, who's well known for just bringing the numbers from above. I mean, he's such a high-damage character and someone that, it's difficult to try and make this judgment call here. I think Zeus may have not been the character they really wanted to put into play, and honestly didn't have the overall effectiveness that they were hoping for. We saw MLC build very, very tanky, picking up that MLC of Renewal. Of course, does have the Warlock Sash as well. Data Care, very, very tanky as well. Good rotations, good interference. And Nister got picked off a couple times. In fact, he's going to have the most amount of deaths on his team with 4 deaths overall, ending the game 6-4 and 14. But at the same time, I mean, he's doing 19.8